Welcome back, Bob the Vape and Computer Guy. Today we're taking a look at Mike Vapes' iconic RDA. Alright, so this is the iconic. It finally came in from a slow boat from China. I purchased this. This wasn't sent to me for review. So let's start off by just saying, I know Mike, we talk every once in a while. That has nothing to do with a review. I review it based on what it is. So let's dive down to the table, take a look at it up close, then I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright, so today we're taking a look at the iconic from Vandy Vapes, designed by Mike Vapes. Alright, really nice looking here. Let's take a look. First of all, we have the squonking pin in there right now. Alright, you can see on the bottom here, you have iconic, you have what looks like serial number, maybe manufacturer number. Alright, manufactured by Vandy Vapes. You got Mike Vape's signature on there. And you got the iconic logo or wording on the side there. Right? This has dual types of airflow. You have a side airflow and you have two tube bottom airflow. Airflows. Alright, you got this really nice thick, I guess it's a resin drip tip on here, and you got some other drip tips. Let's pop it on here first, and I'll show you everything else that comes with it. But let's pop it on something so I can pull the top off. It's a nice one-piece design, which I like. Inside, let's zoom in a little bit here, and we'll show you. We'll pull it apart. There we go. Sorry for the shaking. So you got Phillips type screws on top. It'll take both Phillips and flathead. You have what's basically a spring-loaded clamp system. You can see your bottom airflow are these two tubes here that come up at an angle to go directly under your coil. All right. And when you have your top cap on, you also have side airflow going, which basically hits that slot and then comes up towards the side of the coils. We'll put coils in there in a little bit, and you'll see what I mean on there. All right. So you cannot distinguish between the two. You're going to get both airflows when you put the, come on, focus. When you put this on, let's turn it around so we're lined up straight. So when you're fully lined up here, all right. And as you can see, some people are saying, well, it wasn't machined well because you can, see that part there. But no, I don't think so. I think what happens is when it's made like this, the hole is drilled, at this angle, okay? It's drilled at an angle like that, right through the whole thing probably. And that's, so when you're holding it, looking up at it, it's perfectly lined up. All right, but if you look at it like this, you're going to see the bottom of the tubes. So I think that makes perfect sense. Now, as you close off the airflow, all right, so now you got half of each tube, and you got, maybe 2/3 of the top slot, or you can just go to one, and you'll get one tube and about half of the side airflow slot on here. I like it like this, or even open a little more. So I'm finding having it open all the way like this is fine, or I just end up closing it off a little bit like that, and I find it works best that way for me. All right, let's go ahead and take this off. And let's go ahead and show you some of the other things that come with it, and then we'll go and coil it up. All right, so like I said, you got this really nice red drip tip here, really thick, really prevents any heat problems. And you also get a couple of others. You also get both of these, all right? And these are textured. I don't know if you can see that on there. You got that texture on there, all right? And they're both good. I actually like the red one better, but if you want to match things up, obviously you can throw that in there and get it all black, depending on the mod you're putting it on, or with the white. I really like the red, and I've been using it on that Fuchai. That's been working really good on there. All right. You also get all your O-rings, your goodies, your regular pin. You get your Allen keys, because you can replace all right, a little strange on the bottom. Well, I have right now the squonking coil in there, squonking pin in there, and that's just going to use the Allen key, one of the Allen keys, the thicker one, all right? But when you are using the regular pin, which I believe it came with the regular pin in there, it's a two-piece pin system. So what happens is, where is it? I'll show you. If we pull this out, nope, gotta use a thicker one. Let's go ahead and pull that out. And that's our squonking pin. All right. When you throw this in here, does this coil work? No, I think you got to use a screwdriver. So, maybe it does. Okay, so you can put that in there and it seems to fit. And then once you put that in there, then you're going to go ahead, if I could pick this thing up, and you're going to put your second pin in. All right, and this one you would use a flathead screwdriver, which is not included, but it's just a regular flat screwdriver. I'm not sure why there's a 2-pin system for the regular one. It doesn't matter to me. I know some people don't like that, but again, I'm using it as a squonker, so I'm putting 1 pin in, and it doesn't bother me at all that it really has 2 pins to put in when you want, if you want to put it back to a standard RDA. It doesn't hurt anything, it doesn't take away from any features or anything, but that's the way it is. Okay. You also do get a 510 adapter and your extra O-rings and some extra springs for underneath here in case, I guess, if the tension goes off or if you happen to pull the screw all the way out and lose it. I don't recommend doing that. Just don't lose it. But it happens. So let's go ahead and let's throw some coils in here. So I'm going to take some of my go-to staggered Claptons. These are normally 0.3 ohms, so they're great for squonking because they'll ohm down to between a 0.5 and a 2.2. All right, so zoom in. Get the included Phillips screwdriver. Loosen that up. Loosen that up. You can see they pop up enough there to get your coils underneath both sides. All right. You don't want to push that out because it is on the spring at that point. So I'm going to use some of my standard fuse Claptons here, or staggered Claptons, and you have one side, as you can see, is higher than the other. So you're going to put one in the upper side and one in the lower side on the right, and then you're going to reverse that when you put the coil in the other side. Now, I recommend you get the coils just inside and above the airflow. All right, so it's just inside. Now, obviously, you got the thickness of here for your top cap, so it's going to hit about here. So even if you were out a little more, it's not going to touch, but you want it right over the coils, but as far out as you can go, and I find that's the best place. I'm going to tighten this side down. Well, no, I'm not going to tighten the side down. I'm just going to lower it a little bit, just because I want to get that to stay. Obviously, if we tighten it down, we can't get our coil on the other side. But what you can do is put it in there, tighten it, cut your coils if you want, and then put it back, or loosen it back up. So I'm going to take someone's eye out. I'm glad there it is. Glad there's nobody else in here. All right. Now what I often do is I take that coil out now. Let's loosen that up a little. I often take that coil out, and you have a choice. You can, if you want to just cut it the same length, just put it on here. And no, don't fall out, don't drop it. That's not part of the instructions. All right, and then you can cut it about the same length. All right. So what I did was I just lined them up next to each other, and then cut them so that they'd be about the same length. Okay. And I'm just eyeing it. I'm not being that exact. So if we put this coil back in here. Just going to bend that into place. All right, so that's where I want it. Turn it around. Same thing with the other coil. And of course, once your coil is in, you'll be able to manipulate it a little more. All right. So coil may look like they're not perfectly straight across from each other. Right now, that's fine. Let me get these tightened down a little. And sometimes this little blue screwdriver isn't the best thing to use. You may find the flathead screwdriver or a better Phillips screwdriver of your own will allow you to get a little more tension on there than those little blue screwdrivers. All right, so we got those in there. Now we're going to go and place them where we want. So I'm going to lift that up, as you can see, just a little bit, and I like to keep it right in line with that metal piece there. That's the way I'm finding everything's working best. It's directly over the airflow. That one looks pretty good right where it is. But now let's look at it from the side. This one's a little low. I want it slightly higher. Alright, so that's pretty even there. Alright, so a little scraping on there and playing around, and we got them glowing nice in there. Alright, I also did tighten down those screws a little bit more off camera just to make sure they would clamp down good. Alright, so that's my height. That's my placement. Alright, and when dripping, if you don't over drip, your juice will hit that center and run down the center posts and go into the juice well. You over drip, and or you drip too fast, it will hit the center, fall onto the coils, roll around the coils, and go down the tubes. So the trick is just to not drip too fast, and it'll hit the center and drip straight down. Alright, let's go ahead and wick this. Alright, got our cotton. Not too tight, not too loose. Coming out just a little. Tuck it in. Tuck it in. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And one more time. Now, of course, you want to make sure you're not blocking the air tubes. So just push that to the side a little bit, clear out the air tubes so you have good coverage in there and you get good airflow. Same with the other side. Looks pretty good as it is. You can push those down. Just don't pull them tight. You don't want them to be at a sharp 90-degree angle. Just makes it harder for the juice to flow up. But there you go. All right, I'm going to juice that up, and we're going to go back up on top and talk about it. Okay, so the looks. I mean, I put it on top of the Fuchai Squonker just because the red tip that came with it is, you know, matchy-matchy. Nice thick tip on there. Vaping on it. Let's back up a little bit. Let's address the first thing that some people have started saying, oh, it leaks. All right. Every RDA can leak if you over drip, if juice goes down one of the holes. Those things happen. Some leak more than others. I have been using this primarily as a squonking RDA. As a squonking RDA, I love it. It's working great. The airflow is great. Taste is great. Everything about it's good. You can still squeeze too much juice and leak. It can happen. I haven't found that using it as a squonking RDA no worse than any other out there with a side or bottom airflow. All right. Now we're calling it bottom airflow and side airflow because you have the slots that go in sideways and then you have the tubes that go up and down. But they're almost like, I mean, it's still bottom airflow because it's under the coil, but even though the holes are low, the tubes are going up higher, so it's not technically side airflow, but what I'm trying to get at is it is better than an RDA that is purely a bottom airflow, okay? So there are worse RDAs for squonking or dripping, and there are better. This is somewhere in between in terms of juice getting down the holes. If you squonk a lot, you're going to fill it up that much, it's going to overflow and go back down the tubes. That can happen. That just comes with experience and how to squonk. So as a squonking RDA, I love it. As a dripping RDA, it kind of depends where you put your coils. If you put your coils far out, as I think Mike showed. I haven't watched anybody else's reviews of this. Now, I've seen Mike talking about it and a few other people who had it ahead of time, but I haven't watched any other reviews because I don't like watching reviews for products where I might get influenced by something somebody else said. If you put your coils far out, though, when you drip, you're dripping down the middle, it's hitting your post and going straight down. Pretty much no problem. If I if I squeeze a lot of juice in there, yes, you can get leaking. If I just squeeze normally, I'm not having any leaking from it. But as a squonking RDA, it's beautiful, and that's what I think this shines. I think that's what a lot of people are probably saying or going to say in their reviews, is that for squonking, it's great. And since the second half of 2017 and going into 2018 has been the partial year of the squonker, that's what I'm using it for. That's what it's great for. So, in that respect, no problems with leaking, I would say, as long as you're using it as a squonking RDA. If you're using it as a regular dripper, you can have leaking if you over drip, yes, okay? Now, moving on to actually using it. Airflow on it is wonderful. There's no whistling. The airflow just feels smooth, and the airflow is coming to those coils really nice, and that's producing great flavor on it. I think I gotta change these batteries. Yep, let's change the battery. In terms of vaping on it, it's wonderful. I'm very happy with the flavor, very happy with it in a dripper. I really like it on this Fuchai. I've been using it here for about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 days now on the Fuchai squonker, and it's been vaping great. Absolutely wonderful, smooth and nice. The material is not getting hot at all. That is very important to me. I don't like squonking or dripping and my atomizer getting hot. That bothers me, where if I take 5, 6 hits in a row and then I gotta let the thing cool for 3 minutes because I can't vape on it because it's too hot, that bugs me. No problems with that. And the walls are not super thick, and yet I'm having no heat problems at all with it. So I'm very happy with that. The drip tip that is included looks, man, that's in there tight. Looks really nice red. Really thick. That's also helping in case there was any heat problems. But I'm not having any heat problems. I am having juice problems in my hand from taking it apart, though. But very happy with it. I think it's working great. There's no cons to it. I'm not going to say that, you know, that leaking if you drip too much is a con. I'm not going to say that because I think that'll happen with anything. So it's not a con. It's just you got to know what you're doing. If you're going to over drip, if you're someone that likes to drip a lot, and you're looking to squeeze a lot of juice into an RDA every time you drip, you don't get something with side or bottom airflow. You get something with higher up side airflow, I should say. And then you won't have that problem. So, really good. I have some of this purple powder that was sent in by Vapor for Life. Just really good. This is the best the best grape flavored juice I've ever had. And I think I forgot the last one I reviewed about a month, 2 months ago, some other juice that was sent in for review, and I said that was the best one. This one is better. So purple powder, really nice juice. Squonker, really nice squonker. As a dripper, average dripper. But get this for squonking if you're looking to get something that doesn't get hot, that really has great airflow, great flavor. For squonking, this is definitely the one to consider. And if you get the black and you get the red drip tip, it looks really good on red devices. So there you go. That is the Iconic from Vandy Vapes and Mike Vapes. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.